61, post-menopausal, 100 days. Janet Jackson, 1995 body. Can it be done? We're going to find out.
Out of the blue, I'm changing my tune. They think I'm singing off key and coming unglued.
But the question for today is the plan that I'm eating putting me into ketosis? And is that a good thing? Good question. Well, good morning. It is day 16 of the 100-day challenge, and this is Life with Dr. Shari Hall. Wow, it's been a little slow for me this morning. I am warming up my body, and thank goodness yesterday was a rest day, but it was really active recovery. I got on the spin bike for 30 minutes and I did some core exercises, which include my dead bug and my plank, and I did some glute bridges. So just a little bit of stuff to keep the body going, stay consistent, keep my body moving every single day, doing what I can do. And yesterday, I definitely needed that active recovery today. As we're moving into week 3 here, my workouts are getting a little bit more intense, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. And I think that's one of the reasons I've been a little slow to get going this morning, because I'm looking at this workout going, whoa, oh my God. But the question for today is the plan that I'm eating putting me into ketosis? And is that a good thing? Good question. My husband asked me the other day if by limiting my carbohydrates, am I going to be producing ketones? Well, what exactly are ketones? Ketones are a different substance that your body uses that are made in the liver from burning fat. Now, normally, for a lot of people, the main source of sort of energy that people think about in the body, especially for the brain, are carbohydrates or sugar. And the brain likes sugar or glucose. And a lot of cells in the body, particularly cells that you don't want to grow, like cancer cells and things like that, a lot of cells in the body use sugar, glucose. And some people think that they need a lot of carbohydrates in order to be able to sustain that amount of energy required, especially when you're doing really hardcore workouts like a marathon runner or something like that. But there is another source of fuel that the body uses and uses really, really efficiently, and those are ketones. But ketones are not produced by carbohydrate. Ketones are produced by the metabolism of fat in the liver. And you can measure your ketones. Ketones can be measured from your blood, and ketones can be measured in your urine by just sticking a little stick like one of these. You can get these at any pharmacy or chemist, and it's just a little stick here that's got a thing on the end of it, and you pee on it and put it in your urine stream, and then it will change colors if you're actually producing ketones. And usually the box or the package will give you a range of what those colors look like and how they correlate to the amount of ketones that you're producing. It stays the same if it's negative, and then it's trace, small, moderate, or large. Now, ketones are a great thing in small amounts. Obviously, a lot of you have heard of something called diabetic ketoacidosis. That's a big fancy name, but that is something that you can get when you have too much ketones, and that can actually be life-threatening. But that's not what I'm doing. And actually, I wasn't intentionally trying to get into ketosis. I just know that my body functions well with fewer carbohydrates. So because my plan has about 10% carbohydrates, that has actually put me into ketosis. So you can see here, I did a little pee strip this morning, and that is anything but the pale sort of peach that's on here. It's actually a darker color. Now, it's not quite correlating to the pinky purple colors that are on this box, but I would say I'm producing small amounts of ketones, and that's fine. Very, very happy with that. So then my husband asked me another question this morning. He said, after one of these big workouts that I do, wouldn't my body want carbohydrates, right, to help sustain the energy that I need? And I said, well, The last time I had any carbohydrate was yesterday, earlier in the day, when I had my 100 grams of blueberries, and that was probably around 10 grams of carbohydrate. That amount of carbohydrate is not much at all. So I probably over the last couple of weeks have completely depleted the storage molecule glycogen in my liver, and I'm producing ketones as my energy. So no, I don't need the carbohydrates. Yes, my body will use ketones as fuel, which is produced from fat. So I am starting to fat burn, which is really what we want. That's a really, really good thing. Yeah, that's it. That's how things are going to be working for me. Is that sustainable over a long period of time? There have been people who have been in ketosis for years and years and years and years and years, and it is absolutely sustainable. It's going to depend on sort of you and your preference and what you feel like your body needs. And if you have a day where you're actually craving a lot of carbohydrates, well, go ahead and do you. And that's great. And you're going to see so many people out there talking about ketogenic diets and carnivore diets, which would be the extreme version of that, right? And I'm pretty close to carnivore here. So a lot of you would have heard of carnivore as well. And carnivore is when you're only eating animal-based products in the terms of protein and fat. There's virtually zero carbohydrates in a carnivore diet, and you would definitely be producing ketones then. And the amount of carbohydrates I'm eating is very, very small. And that is really just by preference. And as we talked about before, my carbohydrates come in the form of just a little bit of blueberries if I feel like I need a little snack during the day with my high protein cottage cheese, or a little bit from the seeded crackers. There would be some carbohydrate in there. And the small amount of vegetables that I'm eating, which might be a tiny bit of onion or capsicum chopped up in my eggs in this morning with a little bit of spinach, or a salad with dinner. And all of that comes to less than 10 grams, 10% of my calories being carbohydrate calories. The rest is divided equally between protein and fat. That seems to be working for me. Not sure what's going to work for you. Obviously, if you're new to starting a diet plan or a new sustainable way of eating that will last you through the rest of your life, a new lifestyle, you should consult a professional. Understand, though, that there are a lot of people like me who were educated in nutrition based on sort of an old paradigm and archaic thoughts on what is actually good nutrition for a human being. So do your own research, watch lots of videos, get your information from reputable sources, and then have a consultation with your doctor or a dietitian or nutritionist. But that should be a collaborative discussion. That shouldn't just be those professionals ordering you and telling you this is what you have to do. You need to do your own research. You really need to do your own research. I can't stress that enough. And you need to listen to your own body and make a determination on what's best for you. And I know this kind of eating is best for me, and it supports the journey that I'm on to try to achieve my 1995 Janet Jackson body. Woohoo! All right, so the workout for today. Whoa. So last week, Chat GPT and my AI agency and I had a discussion about ramping up the intensity of my workout so that my cardio is part of the workout and I'm doing more functional exercises and more compound movements. And what I mean by that are movements that aren't using just isolated muscle groups. For example, just doing a bicep curl or just doing a tricep extension. I want to be using my entire body in the exercise, and I want to be moving more and taking less time between sets and repetitions. Okay, well, I got what I asked for, so be careful what you ask for. Here's the plan for today. We're doing our lower body A workout. It's my first lower body workout of the week. It's compound and cardio. Warming up, which is doing a very quick 5-minute spin to warm up the body, and then doing some body weight exercises, squats, glute bridges, and band walks, just to get everything moving. And it is morning, and I definitely need it. This old lady needs that. Then we have 2 blocks of exercises. So the first block is a set of 3 exercises, and we're going to do 3 sets of those 3 exercises with about 30 to 60 seconds in between the sets. So we're starting with a suitcase squat, holding dumbbells in both hands and doing a good squat, and then lifting and raising up into a shoulder press. That is a full body exercise, a squat right into a shoulder press. I will play with the weights on that because I'm not sure how much. I know I can do more with the squat, but now that I'm going to have 2 weights, we might not be using the 10-kilo dumbbells. Then we're going right to a Romanian deadlift with a row. Fantastic. Again, a total body exercise. The deadlift, bending over, the row, and then up. Deadlift, row, and then up. Fantastic. Love it. And then the last one we're doing is a little bit of cardio, doing some skaters. So if you think about a speed skater moving side to side, side to side, and we're doing that with a weight transfer. So we'll have one dumbbell, place it on the ground, go to the other side, pick up the dumbbell, move it to the other side. Fun. That'll be block 1, doing that 3 times through. Block 2 is more body weight stuff, which is good because I will have already done a lot of my weightlifting. So we're doing some glutes and legs there, doing some step ups, right to hip thrust on the bench, and then calf raises. So block 2, a little bit easier. Again, 3 rounds of all of that. Finishing up with a spin interval set. Well, I thought I was done. Then it's taking me through a little bit of a HIIT session, high intensity interval training. So we're doing 20 seconds of a fast spin, 40 seconds easy. So that's 1 minute, and we're doing 8 rounds of that. So as fast as I can for 20 seconds, and then 40 seconds to relax and just a gentle spin, 8 rounds. So that's 8 minutes of high intensity interval training, and then 2 minutes to just cool down. So that's a total of 10 minutes on the spin bike at the end. And then a little stretching. It's exhausting just talking about it. So anyway, why don't we get started? Let's go.
There's nothing in our way except a lack of faith. But we believe you are who you are. With your unfailing love, your power and grace. I know we can change our stars. Every little bit, every little step is gonna get us closer, but we're not there yet. Every little bit, day by day, hand in hand we'll find our way. Every little step is gonna get us closer, but we're not there yet. Every little bit, day by day, hand in hand we'll find our way. There's nothing in our way except a lack of faith. But we believe you are who you are. With your unfailing love, your power and grace. I know we can change our stars.
Okay, guys, we made it through. Oh my God. That was a killer. It was essentially a full body workout with a lot of cardio, minimal rest in between sets. And I'm still breathing heavy, even though I did my cool down and I've done my stretches. I'm still sweating, and it's going to take me a little while to cool down from that workout. But we did it. So it was my lower body A compound and cardio exercises. We did block 1, which had the suitcase squats with shoulder press, Romanian deadlifts, and rows, and then skaters transferring the weight from side to side. And then we did block 2, which was step ups, hip thrusts with a little weight on, and calf raises. And then I did my 8-minute HIIT session on the spin bike with 20 seconds going as fast as I could and 40 seconds slowing down, 20, 40, 20, 40, 8 repetitions. Then a little cool down, and then some stretching. And that is going to burn a lot of calories today. So, need to keep up on my water. Probably need to have an extra dose of electrolytes today. I remember at the top of this discussion, we were talking about whether or not I was in ketosis or not. And I definitely think that I am, because less than 10% of my calories are coming from carbohydrate, which means instead of burning glucose, sugar, carbohydrates for my energy, I'm burning fat, which is exactly where we want to be. So that's me. That's what's working for me. Not sure what's going to work for you, but maybe you can post in the comments whether or not you've actually been in ketosis before and tried a ketogenic diet or even a carnivore diet, which is sort of the extreme of that, having zero carbohydrates, and whether or not that worked for you. Let me know. I'd be curious to know. There's a lot of interesting takes on that perspective, and I'd love to hear what you're doing. So that's what we have for today. I can officially tick off day number 16 on the plan. I always just love doing these ticks. And that's all we have for today. This is Life with Dr. Shari Hall, the 100-day challenge, and we'll see you soon. So if you're enjoying what you're seeing so far and you'd like to continue on the journey with me, or perhaps you just need a little friendship or some inspiration or motivation as you start your own transformation journey, feel free to click the subscribe button below. I'd love to have you along. So subscribe. Okay.